Hello, how are you doing today? I'm Dara and I'm back with another video. Well, I hope you're staying safe this season and I hope everything is going well with you. Today in this video, I want to show you something in preview, but maybe at the time you're watching this, it's actually generally available to the world. It doesn't really matter. I just want to show you my first-hand view of Visual Studio 2022. Well, I'll be showing you preview 1, even though preview 2 is out at the time of this recording, but I couldn't go through the stress of recording that because I've done this previously. But I want to show you what is really new in Visual Studio 2022. Anything I show in preview 1 will definitely be better in any edition of Visual Studio you're using at the time of watching this video, and that is what I want to show you today. Now, Visual Studio has made a lot of improvements over the years. I remember when I started using Visual Studio was sometime in 2010. Yeah, that was Visual Studio 2008. That was the one I was using then. Then I've seen the upgrades over the years, and I've been privileged to use preview editions of Visual Studio ever since, up until now. Now, Visual Studio 2022 is publicly available. The preview 2 at the time of this recording, which was announced a few days ago from this date. Today's date is July 20, 2021. So it was announced, that came out a few days ago. But anything I'm showing you here is pretty new. It's awesome, and you might want to get your hands on it. Actually, let me know, are you considering using Visual Studio 2022 preview on your work machine, on your personal computer, or are you currently using it? It comes with .NET 6, all the nice improvements, and that is what I want to show you. It's like unboxing tech, unboxing software. That is what I want to do today in this video. So let's get started, shall we? Now I'm gonna head over to my screen now, and the first thing I want to do is go over to my browser. We'll start from the browser, which is Microsoft Edge. You can use any browser in this case. Just Bing on Google or Google on Bing, Visual Studio 2022 preview, and there you will get to the Visual Studio website where you can see the announcement about it. You can see all the stuff. I want to go to the Visual Studio blog instead to see the announcements made by Amanda on that. That was the blog post. First thing you need to know that is Visual Studio 2022 is a 64-bit software now, so it means all the improvements, you can use your processor really well. The icons are redesigned. It's more personalized towards you. You can develop more modern apps for Azure, for .NET. .NET MAUI is something really new. I'll be showing you later in this video. So that is that about that. C++ is improved, even though I don't do C++. Innovation at your fingertips. This is one really cool thing I'll also be showing you, which is the code being smart, or Visual Studio being smart, to give you suggestions based on what you code every time. Asynchronous collaboration with live share, and all the other nice stuff. Visual Studio for Mac is also being refreshed right now for that preview. Now I'm going to go ahead and actually download the Visual Studio Enterprise preview because I have an enterprise license with Visual Studio, but pretty much whatever I'm showing you is available in community. So, but I'll download the enterprise version because I have the enterprise license to Visual Studio, but it doesn't really matter. You can download community or professional edition and get using it. So I'll start the installer right about now, and then it just do some housekeeping to get started installing Visual Studio. So it downloads all the needed requirements to start the installer, and then it launches the picker. I call it the picker for installing all my workloads for Visual Studio. Now I see all that bit here, but I'm gonna maximize that. It's using my system team, which is really nice. So I'll see all the workloads I can install. I'll pick the ones that are essential to me. ASP.NET is important. Azure is important. Sometimes I do Python. Node.js is also important. Mobile development with Xamarin. Universal Windows Platform development is important to me. Developing desktop apps with .NET is also very important to me. I also do some Office apps and also Visual Studio development, but I'm going to skip that right now. But of course, you can make your selections based on your use cases. Also, I want to use the .NET 5 runtime for some cases, but some of my codes are still pretty old. Okay, so I'll go scroll down on the selection and then pick all the other workloads that are important to me that I use every day. That's the nice thing about Visual Studio. Now you can pick just the things that are important to you as a developer to install with your Visual Studio instance. So I'm going to pick all things important to me, something really nice, .NET debugging with WSL2, which I'll show in another video entirely. Python web support, definitely I want to do that. I want to probably install Intel Axim and Google Android emulator, even though I might not be showing that in this video, but in the future I would be using it quite a lot, so I'm gonna pick that. So I think I'm good to go. So what I'm gonna do next now is hit install. The sweet thing is I can install while downloading. So I'm gonna click install now. But right now what I'm showing you is the Preview 2 installation, which has a nicer color. You can see it matches the clothes I'm wearing, which is really nice. Well, that's not a coincidence. I actually planned that. So that is the Preview 2 installation that I just showed you, and this is the Preview 1 installation interface right there. I'll just glaze over this in very fast steps. It took about 30 minutes there about to finish installing, but you could probably see this in about 1 minute time frame because I sped up that instance of the installation. And that is what I've done, and then cleans up, then it launches Visual Studio 2022 Preview 1 on my computer right about now. What I want to do now is I sign into Visual Studio. You can sign up to sign in if you do not want to, but it's essential you actually do that if you feel like. But I'm not going to sign in now. I'm going to pick the dark mode, and I'm going to start Visual Studio. So it's preparing Visual Studio now for very first time use. It's probably just doing some housekeeping. It might take some time depending on the configuration of your computer, but it doesn't really matter. It will finally start up, and now it's starting up, and there we go. Now that's my Visual Studio 2022 instance. I can decide to create a new project right about now, or I can clone a project from GitHub, Azure DevOps, or any Git repository that I am using, or maybe even Team Foundation server. It doesn't really matter. It takes some time to load that up based on the configuration of my machine. Again, if you're using a very powerful computer, it might be faster than this. So I'm going to start with a console application, but you can check out all the templates you can use for Visual Studio 2022. It's quite a lot to go through. Based on the workloads you've selected, you can see all the nice things. You can do unit tests, Blazor apps, Angular apps, React apps, and you can install more extensions from the Visual Studio Marketplace. I'm going to click console application here, and I'm just going to give this a pretty nice name. I'm going to call it console 22. I don't know why I did that, but that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna change my runtime, my framework, to .NET 6 Preview, and I'm gonna click on Create. That creates a console project for me in Visual Studio 2022. Now you might have a bit of hanging here and there, but it will finally work. Just take your time with it; it will work. So, creating now, and Visual Studio should start responding right about now. And then it shows me the program.cs file. You know, that's the default project for console applications with an hello world right in there. So we're just going to wait for this. We're waiting. So while I actually do that, are you enjoying this video so far? If you are, please give it a thumbs up and let your friends know about it also. And let me know in the comment section if you're considering or even currently using Visual Studio 2022. Well, I have 2019 and 2023 installed on my machine, so I use both interchangeably. But most recently, I've actually been using more of 2022 because I like to live on the edge. As a developer, I like to test out the new things. I like to see things that are actually really good. And even also, I have Windows 11 installed on all my computers right now. Even though I wouldn't advise you to do that because you never know, things might break. But I like to live on the edge. The worst thing that can happen is I lose 1 day productivity, which doesn't really matter to me because I will take that time to rest and watch some movies. Now, that's the application that was developed for us, that was created rather for us in Visual Studio 2022. Now, let's go ahead and show you a cool feature of Visual Studio 2022. Ready? Let's get started. I'm just gonna save that now. You can see the redesign icons. If you look at your Visual Studio 2019 compared to this one, you can see that the icons are subtly different. Okay, you can check out all around to see all the design icons, but I wouldn't even go through the design changes because mostly I just run shortcuts. Okay, now let's do something really cool. So I'm gonna start a string builder class here. Okay, that's the wrong spelling. I gotta go back and spell that right. You know, sometimes when we just type as developers, we just spell things wrong. String builder. You see that suggestion that just popped up? Let me do that again. String builder. Again. String builder. Now, small u. You know what happens to us as developers, right? You can see that suggestion, and I just need to press a tab to complete that line of code. You see that? That is IntelliSense++. That is Visual Studio helping me be a better developer, be a more productive developer. Now, I'm just gonna resolve the namespaces here using system.text, and then boom, good to go. Right about that. Okay, that's one thing. Now, the next thing I want to do here is actually start a new class. I'll create a new class. I'll do it for each and do all kind of things. But before I do the class, then I'll go ahead and do it for each. You can see all that nice things, nice intelligence coming out to me from inside Visual Studio. You can see all the suggestions it's bringing out to me. Now, this makes me a better programmer. It makes me a more speedy and more productive programmer. Now, I'm not being lazy. I just like being productive as a developer. I don't like to worry about the nitty-gritties and the little pretty details. Pretty little dirty details. It doesn't really matter. Now, let's create a class here. I'm going to call that person. And you can look over at the suggestions it will give me now. Let's have some bit of fun. Okay. I put in the first name. You see that? You see the suggestion now? It suggested last name to me. And then, of course, I'll complete the rest when I want to. Maybe that will not be a suggestion because it's still learning, still something that's in development. So we wouldn't want to worry so much about what things it doesn't give us. But at least the things that matter most, it's giving it to us right here and now. So I'm just going to do some string concatenation over there. I'm going to clear that up for a moment. And I'm going to come back over here and comment out this code. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new instance of person. You can see the suggestions coming out to me right there. And then I can start putting in my fields. First name equals this. Last name equals this. You can see the suggestions coming out to me. That is Visual Studio 2022 making you a better developer. Well, of course, that's been there since C#6, so console.write line, and then, oh, I missed full name. So let me go ahead and create that field full name. I'll just do that in a moment here. I can do control dot over there to generate that property, or that field. But of course, that's not what I need, so I'm going to clear that up. That's not quite smart at least, but of course, it gave me what I need. At least give me the right pointer to what I should do. So I'm just going to create my own manually. You know, we still do that, of course. And you should check out GitHub Copilot if you have access to it. Yeah, that's the way I do concatenation of fields when I want to. I'm going to use the string interpolation way. And that. Put in the last name. Yeah, right there. So that's that about developer productivity. Okay, now let's show something really nice again. Now I'm gonna clear out all the wrappers around this system console arg stuff. I'm gonna clear that up and then just make my code a little bit cleaner. I'm gonna clear up everything that's on it. Now you can see that I don't have any namespace. Okay, now that is another productivity that is right there. Though that has been since C#9 anyways, but it's now better in Visual 2022, but you can use it as way back as C#9 if you wanted to. Now it's called the global top level programming stuff. Well, whatever you want to call it, I just call it top level global stuff. Now I don't need to worry about namespaces anymore. I can just start writing my code just like you do in Python and any other nice program that you like today that makes programming pretty. So those little details that you used to worry about, I need to put the namespace, I need to put the class this, class that, you don't have to worry so much about it anymore because it's just there, right? You can start writing your code once you create your project and clear out any other thing you do not need. Now, I want to create a MAUI project. What is MAUI? MAUI is the new thing for developing cross-platform applications for .NET. So I'm going to go through the process of installing .NET MAUI on my computer. Now, that is not part of the Visual Studio installation right about now, okay? At least for this workload I installed. So I'll go ahead and actually launch my Windows terminal over here and then go to the instructions to install MAUI. So it's checking if I have MAUI installed. It knows I have .NET 6 installed, but not the MAUI tools. So it's checking, do I have MAUI installed? No, I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and install the MAUI tools right about now. So I'm going to put in that command. And I'm going to run MAUI check. That's MAUI-check. So it checks my installation. Do I have the SDKs needed? Do I need to fix some stuff? That just does some bit of ask cleaning for me. So it's asking me to install, fix stuff. It does all that by itself. Once I click yes to it, it just goes ahead to install all the needed workloads for my computer. And I'm just gonna run a little bit over that because it takes a little bit of time. So it takes roughly about 10-ish minutes depending on your computer configuration and internet connectivity. But it's not something that is super long in terms of what it takes to install that MAUI workloads. So it's almost done right about now. You might want to fast forward to the next timestamp where it's done installing. Okay, last bit of fixes now. And should be done. So installing all the SDKs and templates and very nice things I can do. Okay, everything is installed now. I just run MAUI check again to be sure everything is good. And everything is good to go. Now let's go ahead and start our first MAUI project. That's .NET 6 cross-platform development. So I do .NET new MAUI. I give it a name. Boom, MAUI project created. And then I sit into the folder and I do a .NET restore. That helps me download all the packages and every NuGet stuff it needs to run. So I do a .NET restore. And boom, packages restored. Now let me go ahead and open this up in Visual Studio. I'm going to open the SLN file, that's a solution file for Visual Studio. Now, if I'm running on a Mac also, I can do just exactly that. Okay. Open up the solution file in Visual Studio to load up all the dependencies. It will probably do some more .NET restores, which I think is expected because it's running in Visual Studio and it needs to download more stuff to run, at least for the very first time. So in the future, it's probably uses your NuGet cache on your computer to complete the rest of that process. So, takes a little bit of time over here to get itself together. Oh, a little bit of a error code. Error. I don't like errors, but it moves on anyways. So, let's look. Let's wait and see. Okay, it's ready now. I'm gonna run this on an Android device. Okay, I'll run this on my phone because the first time I actually tried it on my other computer, it didn't work well with whatever I was doing. So, I'm going to run this on an a local Android device, but I can expand and see as the packages restore, the components of the solution that was generated for me, Visual Studio solution that was generated for me. I can check out the Android project, check out the Windows project, check out the iOS project. Importantly, check out the Mac project. Now, it means I can write apps for Android, iOS, Windows, and Mac OS with a single code base. Well, I want to call it right now. I'm calling it what it is. C# is the one ring to rule them all. Just kidding. But it's really cool. Now, I'm going to run this now on my Android device. Yeah, that's my beautiful wife, just in case you're wondering. I'm going to run this now. It's telling me I'm using a preview version of .NET, which is expected because I like previews. I'm running on preview. Visual Studio is preview. .NET MAUI, as the time of this recording, is still preview. I'm just going to speed that up a little bit, and then it will discover my device and then deploy the MAUI app to it. Well, also, one thing you should note is that at the time of this recording, that the MAUI tool in Visual Studio is not that stable. So when I try to launch to my device and run the debugger alongside in Visual Studio, it breaks. But I don't worry so much about that because I know probably it has been fixed in the future. So if you're seeing this break off, don't worry so much. I'm very sure the team is right on top of it. So you see it breaks now. But pretty much don't worry so much about that breaking. It's something that would definitely be fixed in any future edition of Visual Studio that you will be using. So just keep your mind calm about that. All right. So that's that. I'll try to run this on Windows. Okay, that's using WinUI. Also, that would fail. But in future releases, it definitely would have been fixed. So again, do not worry so much about it breaking in this video. Right, and then the error prompt comes right about now. Boom, just that error. So I'm going to glaze over that and show you how you connect to the Mac operating system from, even though I wouldn't run the iOS version of it because most likely it will also fail. Because it's the first preview, things like that are expected to happen. But pretty much all those things, the team is getting the feedback and then it has been fixed. So come now. Well, at least I'm saying that I don't work for Microsoft here, but I know it's something that definitely been worked on every time because I happen to have a lot of friends there. Yeah, I have a lot of friends. So that's the process of connecting to the Mac. For the very first run, it actually fails. So it gives me a very nasty error, which wasn't expected. While that goes on, I'm running the app again on my Android device, and you see the app actually works. The iOS thing didn't quite work out well. Okay, at least Android worked, so I give it to that. I think Android is the thing. Probably because Android is my daily driver, that's the reason I decided to work. Anyways, the template is not there for .NET MAUI in Visual Studio yet. It will probably come, or you can check out the Microsoft documentation on how to get the MAUI template inside Visual Studio. But right now, I'm going to create an ASP.NET Core application to actually see what is new in the web world. Now, note with .NET, you can do ASP.NET Core, Blazor, that's front end with .NET, which is really super cool. It's something you should try out. Let me know if you're actually trying it out by putting it in the comment section. Also, if you have watched this video this far and you have not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe so you get notified when I post new videos. If you don't subscribe, I'm gonna come for you. Just kidding. Please subscribe. It helps the channel and help others discover videos just like this. Now, the .NET web project, ASP.NET project, is created now, and I can check out all the nice things about it. You can see it runs .NET 6. Nice thing, it doesn't put preview over there. What do you think? Right, and then I'm just gonna run that now in my browser, which is Microsoft Edge. Okay, running now, and my browser should pop up any moment from now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, beat me to it. That is my review of Visual Studio 2022. Till I come your way again with another video, I will tell you, stay safe and have a very nice day, and goodbye.